It's a brutal era of endless war, and Prince Tyrion, champion of the Everqueen, will fight to defend the fabled elven homeland of Ulthuan from the endless attacks of the never-ending forces of evil.
Hey everybody, welcome to a new campaign, and because I have asked I've taken a couple of polls here recently, and the majority of people have leaned towards wanting to play a little bit more of SFO, which is fine with me. SFO Grand Strategy, which I will clarify exactly what that means here in a minute. But anyway, there's a bunch of different factions that I'm looking forward to trying out in SFO. I'm pretty happy with how SFO has worked out in the last couple of months since I first started messing around with it in Warhammer 3. I used to play it back in Warhammer 2, but Michael, nobody is interested in hearing about that. So let's go ahead and move forward with this. So the other thing is I wanted to, I like to alternate back and forth between Chaos factions and Order factions. And since the last one that I started up was a Skulltaker campaign, and also was able to sort of resurrect the Clan Eshin campaign, both of which are Chaos, I felt like it was definitely time for another Order faction. And I have not played the High Elves on this channel yet, and quite frankly, it has been an extremely long time since I've played the High Elves at all, like probably more than a year ago. So I'm kind of looking forward to getting into them. I'm just glancing at what SFO does, and unless vanilla High Elves have changed pretty dramatically since the last time I played them, I'm already seeing things that are considerably different than the way that I remember them. So let's go ahead and talk about that. So we've got Tyrion. I took another poll where we asked whether or not we wanted to basically play a more thematic, staying true to Warhammer lore Tyrion, where we're trying to unify all the High Elves and unify Ulthuan, versus doing something a little bit different and playing as an evil Tyrion, where we're not allowed to ally with any of the Order factions, not just the other High Elves, but any of the Order factions at all. Anyway, it sounds like the majority of people prefer that we do sort of a straight-up Tyrion campaign, which suits me fine. I will do my best to try to keep it interesting and try to keep it thematic, as those of you who have seen the other Let's Plays on this channel hopefully know by now that I try to keep things pretty thematic. So I'm also going to be playing on Legendary Very Hard difficulty. One thing that I did notice with the buffing of garrisons in SFO is that alone provides a really substantial challenge. I learned this in a live stream that I did not too long ago, which was a little bit embarrassing that I lost a pretty significant battle early in the campaign. But again, that's neither here nor there. But the lesson to be learned out of that, we had an interesting conversation about it, which is basically you need to be a little bit careful with the unit buffs that you give when you're already playing Legendary Very Hard. And the reason for that is, I think the biggest one is leadership, quite frankly. The others don't really bother me quite so much, but when you give like the maximum leadership buffs to the AI, you will sometimes see the factions behaving in a very uncharacteristic way. And the example that I like to use, I think it's the strongest example, is the Skaven. Skaven are intended to have a play style where they break, but then they will recover and come back into the fight. And so it's a very chaotic way of fighting. They don't really have solid front lines, and they don't really do typical hammer and anvil tactics, and they use all kinds of sneaky treachery type tactics. And anyway, the reason I mention that is because you give them too much in the way of leadership, and the next thing you know, they're not breaking. It's one kind of problem that I have with the radius overhaul, which is a great overhaul in many ways, but one thing that I don't like is you almost, well, it takes a heck of a lot longer, let's just say, for armies to start routing. And the same thing can be true in regular vanilla or in SFO if you start giving them too much in the way of leadership buffs. All this is a long-winded way of me saying, I'm going to jump here into the to the settings screen. I've got everything set pretty much to the hardest it can possibly be, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to back off the AI stats modifier. Instead of maximum right here, which is +8 to leadership, we're going to cut that in half. So we're still buffing the AI units pretty significantly, but their leadership is not going to become so boosted that you're going to start to see uncharacteristic behavior from your different factions. That's sort of the long-winded way of my leading back into to what we're going to do here. So back to Tyrion. I think he probably needs no real introduction.
We must preserve
I'm
this
gonna
world.
I'm going to leave this here for just a second if anybody's interested in the lore of Tyrion. It's right here. I try to stick to the lore as much as possible, but since I figure most people are probably already quite familiar with him, I don't want to take the time to read all that out. And again, let's go through his effects here for SFO. So he can take a path of retribution or unity, and every High Elves faction grant unique Confederation bonuses. -25 diplomatic relations with all factions except High Elves. I kind of like the sound of that. So we're going to be super arrogant about it. We're going to be, unifying the High Elves and kind of disregarding everyone else. Not disregarding entirely, but, I'm saying kind of looking down on everyone else. Construction time -50% for Shrine of Cain building. Local recruitment duration -1 turn for infantry and cavalry units. And then unique units, exalted versions of most units recruited at Lothern. Then Tyrion's own personal lord effects. Upkeep -20% for Spearmen, Silver and Guard, Rangers, Archers, and Silver Helms units. Some of those definitely in the early going. I will be leaning very heavily into those low-tier units. Ultimately, we probably will replace them. Recruitment rank +4 for Gate Guard and Lothern Sea Guard units. This always kind of bothered me a little bit, this sort of a mismatch here between he gets additional recruit ranks for units that are different than the ones that he actually buffs, or in this case, lowers the upkeep of. So it's not really that big of a deal. It's just not quite as aesthetically pleasing as most of the other legendary lords, which both provide buffs and sometimes upkeep modifiers to the same units. Anyway, not all that important. Michael, keep moving on here. Leadership +10 when in own territory. Lord's Army. Okay, so obviously we're not going to play super defensive because that's really just the wrong way to play this game. But that segues very nicely into what do I mean by grand strategy. And I'm going to go ahead and jump in, and I'll talk about it here while it's loading in. I don't think there's anything else to change here, so let's go ahead and give this a shot. Okay, so grand strategy. For anybody not familiar with the other Let's Plays, whether we're using SFO or doing it using a whole set of other mods, I like to try to slow down the pacing of it so that the Warhammer Total War experience is much more challenging and a sort of a more difficult, slower paced marathon type of a campaign as opposed to the steamrolling that you have in vanilla, where, quite frankly, usually, depending on what faction you're playing, you know whether or not you're going to win a campaign very early on. 25 to 50 turn range, you usually know whether or not your campaign is going to start dominating, start steamrolling at that point. So we slow that down by reducing campaign movement speed, by slowing down the rate of casualty replenishment, which I really like because it makes casualties in battle much more meaningful, much more impactful. You have to actually take a little bit of time to recuperate after fighting major battles. I will also be slowing down the technology and the experience gain for characters, just, so we're kind of consistently across the board, slowing down the pacing. And the technology thing I really like because what that means is it really makes it worthwhile to invest in things which in regular vanilla Warhammer you don't have any reason to invest in. Things like boosting your technology and boost, getting little incremental boosts in casualty replenishment, things like that. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and jump in here. I'll show you the specific SFO settings that we're going to use.
sons and daughters of Ulthuan, be ready to fight.
Okay, so how they play, pretty standard high elf stuff. Cult of Excess, we're at war with. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's take a look here at our SFO settings. This is what we're going to use here, and by just using this one menu here, we can actually basically implement the same changes to this campaign that we normally have to use probably about a half dozen different mods for. So I really like it. It's really nice and kind of streamlined to be able to do everything here on a single screen. So I mentioned technology. We're going to cut technology research in half. What this means is doing things like the steel technology, agent action, every little buff, traits that you can get, ancillaries that you can add to your characters. All of those things that boost your research really become very impactful. So it's going to start out very slow, but we'll build it up as quickly as we can. Health replenishment. I found that the minus 20% is usually a little bit too debilitating, so I like the minus 10%. You still really feel it. Casualties still definitely feel very impactful, but you don't fight battles and then have to wait, turn after turn after turn with barely any, ones and twos replenishments, which kind of slows things down even more than I like. And, I'm already pretty extreme when it comes to that. So experience gain, what I found was the minus 50%. Likewise, was a little bit too impactful. So we're going to go with the minus 25%. Army's movement, I like the minus 50%. I could be open to changing that if folks think that that's too slow and that the minus 25% is better. But I really like being forced to fight more field battles and not being able to jump from one settlement to the next turn after turn. So I think minus 50% is a good place to do that. Wounds time, we're going to increase our wound timer. So whenever we lose a hero, like an immortal hero or a legendary lord, it's an extra 4 turns for them to recover, or even wounded, not being killed in battle, but just regular heroes that get wounded are going to be 4 extra turns for them to come back. Province control is fine on default. Battle speed, I slow those down as well. Garrisons, here we go. Stronger. This we found out in the live stream is actually super impactful. So 25% melee damage, charge bonus, projectiles damage, and spell mastery, plus 10 leadership and 1,000 siege points. That plus 10 leadership is already, I mentioned already the importance of leadership, and then the plus 25% across the board in different categories there. Yeah, it's quite strong, quite strong. Characters, I think I leave those at default. Healing capacity, siege type, and magic, I leave all of those at default. Okay, so there we go. Now we are set up for a proper Total War experience where you have to actually do things like launch offensives and then recover after taking major strong points, suffering major casualties. Sometimes there's going to be a need to actually defend and then counter attack, stuff that normally doesn't even pop up in regular Warhammer 3. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's take a look here at our mage, see what trait we got here. Dealer, income from all buildings in the local region. That's fine. We'll go ahead and put you into the army. I don't see any reason to not
items of power.
Go ahead and do that right off the bat. I have the camera settings altered. I'll go ahead and show folks what those are. I do use, okay, maybe if I click on the right button there, Michael. Right there we go. So we've got cinematic for ourselves and I believe for enemies, yes. And then we've got low for allied and for neutrals as well. I think it's important to mention that because I get an awful lot of questions from people wondering how I get the camera to follow my army when I'm moving, like what we're about to do here in a moment. Before we jump into the first battle, though, I'm going to go ahead and check our diplomacy out because you're never, on the first turn, you're never as strong as before you fight the first battle. You'll take a little bit in the way of casualties, and it will ever so slightly weaken your strength. So let's go ahead and take a look at our quick deals here. Nobody wants a trade agreement. However, I'm sorry, nobody wants a non-aggression pact. We already have one with Avalorn, and extremely important to me, to be friendly with Alariel the Radiant. So we're going to go ahead and do her first in terms of the trade agreement. Illyrian here, they're already at war with another High Elf faction. I don't necessarily want to take sides in wars between High Elf factions, although we will kind of play it by ear. But Alariel, we'll kind of pay attention to her and see who she is friendly with. As she gets her own treaties, we might go ahead and make treaties with those same factions. But for the time being, let's go ahead and do our trade agreement. And she's going to give us a whopping 1. I tell you what, Alariel, just because we're that kind of person, we'll go ahead and give it to you for, straight up. Propose offer. We're going to sacrifice that 1 gold. Okay. Safari, again, we could do a trade agreement. They're not at war with anybody, but I feel like they might end up being. So I'm going to just... Nah, it's money. Let's go ahead and do it. Initiate diplomacy. Again, one payment. We won't worry about it. Propose offer. There we go. Okay. So military access, defensive alliance, military alliance, join confederation. Obviously, nobody wants to confederate just yet. And we've got the cult of excess here. That is who we are at war with. So if we take a look here at how our SFO settings, our grand strategy settings, affect this game, well, we're going to notice it right away in the first turn because we're going to fight this first battle. And ordinarily, in turn number 1, you would expect to then, win this first battle, march on, and go ahead and take Tower of Lysine in the first turn. We probably are not going to be able to reach. It looks like there's a possibility we might be able to, but most factions, what I find out, is they can't actually reach the opposing settlement in that first turn. So let's see what happens. We have no way of going around them, so we have to fight them directly. Before I do, let's just take a look at what they've got. Okay, we can't see half their army. We'll look at it from here. Close victory. So they have 2 units of Dark Riders. They have Dark Shars, and they've got a couple units of Dread Spears. Well, we can certainly take care of that. I need to get used to using my Phoenixes more effectively than I normally do. I've never been very good with cavalry or things like the flying cav, if you would call him that. He's more like a gyro bomber, I guess. All right, anyway, let's take a look at our battle map. This will be a good campaign for me to practice with using those things. Okay, lots and lots of trees. It's okay, elves like trees. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and start our deployment here. So they're just on the other side of the woods from us. We do have these guys who have ranged. They actually have more in the way of ranged units than we do. Like proper range. They've got those dark shards. But that's fine. Since there's so many trees, it's probably not going to matter all that much who has the ranged advantage. Let's get our silver helms over here. And the Phoenix, you can stay right there. I think I'm going to want Tyrion in front and my wizard behind. All we can do here is Harmonic Convergence, which is a good unit. I'm sorry, a good spell, so that's fine. Let's go ahead and prepare to move into the woods, see what they do. They are coming into the woods as well. That suits me fine. Let's get you over here, and let's get you flying over. And I think I'm just going to charge recklessly in with Tyrion. I want you to actually go at them. Go at them. You can go over here. And then you guys. And let's get you over here helping out. These are Dark Riders. Okay, Tyrion. How are we doing here? Boom. didn't get very far, did we? Can you... Oh, you're... Holy cow, you're out of control? Why on earth are you out of control? All right, let's go ahead and get you around into these dark shards, maybe. Dark shards right there. Okay. We're losing a little bit up here in front, but that's actually fine. We're okay. Let's go ahead and get you back out. I don't really know whether this is going to work very well in the trees, but we'll try it. Tyrion, this is really... I had no idea Tyrion went into a rampage. Okay, go ahead and hit those dark shards. Alright, you need to get forward here, my friend. And you need to fly over these... Where's a good place? Right here. Let's try it. Boom. Not sure if that really worked or not. These are Dread Spears, Dark Shards. Where's the other Dark Shards at? I'll tell you what. Get you back over here. Dark Riders. You know what? You got them. Okay, how are you guys doing here? Let's get you... Oh, there we go. Let's actually get you guys on them. And you... Let's get you helping out over here. Tyrion, how we doing? You're not rampaging anymore. That's good. Actually, you're fine. You can just stay right there. Let's go ahead and start using our magic. Boom. And how are we doing right here? They're wavering. How are you guys doing? Let's go ahead and get you back up in the air, actually. Let's get you over here. Let's get you guys on them. Let's get you helping out. Okay. You guys are still sort of locked up here, but it should just be a matter of time. Yep, okay, shattered, that's good. Dark Riders are wavering, okay. Tyrion, I want you to get over here on him. You guys could chase them off the map. But Tyrion, I want you in here on the enemy lord. And let's get you buffed again as soon as we can. How are we doing over here? Let's go ahead and run them off the map over here. You guys start heading over towards them. And you guys right here, let's get you... Not sure that you're going to have any chance to actually shoot over here. I'll tell you what, you can just go on in like that. Alright, shattered, shattered. Being chased off, being chased off, being chased off. Okay, so let's keep you in a position where you, when the enemy lord breaks, you can start running after him. Let's go ahead and buff Tyrion. There we go. All right, let's hope here that we can take this guy out. Tell you what, you guys go ahead and charge in here. You guys can kind of pull out at this point. And let's see if we have any chance of killing him. A little bit. Doing a little bitty bit of damage. As if anyone is new and hasn't heard me complain about this, this is probably my least favorite part of Warhammer. The fact, I just don't understand why they've done it this way. This one looks like it's not going to be too bad. We will eventually kill him, I believe. But they need to change it so that you're not rewarded so much extra for killing the enemy lord, since the mechanics of the game are broken in terms of trying to chase down enemy lords once the battle's over. It is something that drives me insane, as I've probably said on this channel about 500 times. Come on, guys. Come on, he's at 580. He's stuck on 580. Get up. Michael, hit the wrong key there. Slow it down. Let's get a proper charge going, which is going to be hard to do because he is in the trees. Okay, we got him down to 386. There we go. We charged him down. There we go. I think we're finally going to get him here. There we go. So basically, if CA is not going to ever bother to fix the broken attack animations where you're attacking an enemy who is fleeing, which, you know, shame on them, but It's pretty obvious at this point that they have no interest in actually fixing that. If they're not going to fix that, just change it so that you're not so incentivized to always try to kill the enemy lord, which you currently are because of how much extra loot you get after a battle. Okay. Okay. I can tell already based on our decisive victory here. Well, never mind. I shouldn't say it. I'm a little bit concerned that that lowering the amount of the stats modifiers from the absolute maximum you can give to the AI to the leadership +4 instead of +8. I'm a little bit afraid that that's going to make the campaign too easy. If it starts to become too easy, then you know what? It'll be lesson learned. Anyway, we're going to take the treasury and the +1 influence per turn for 5 turns.
Let them go.
Pretty easy decision. And first crossroads here. Do we have enough movement to reach Tower of Lycene? Well, we have a mission for it, so we're obviously going to go towards it anyway. Okay. Yep. Oh no, actually, not at all. So that's a march stance. You know, we could reach it if we could go in march stance, but obviously you can't attack in march stance. So we're just going to. What? Oh, okay. So right here, you could already also see the negative effects from the
For my queen.
from the health replenishment. So we're in our own territory, and yet we're still
Tyrion,
not replenishing because of that minus 10%. It's okay. It's all right. We're going to go ahead and recruit in. So the I guess I have to look at Tyrion himself here. I believe the archers. Yeah, archers, rangers, Silvern Guard, spearmen, and silver helms all have reduced upkeep. So if I can't recruit Gate Guard and Lutheran Sea Guard units, then we'll recruit some, or yeah, we'll recruit things like the archers. And I think, quite frankly, we've got plenty of spearmen already. I think we'll go ahead and take. Okay, this is interesting. The heavy arrowheads, they have a lower overall missile strength, but presumably much higher AP, right? So the base missile damage is 10, the AP is 12. And with you guys, with regular archers, 17 and 5. Well, considering what we're going to be fighting here in the early going is not going to be real heavily armored, then I think we'll just go with the regular ones. So let's go ahead and do that. And I want at least 2 regular archers here. Do I want spearmen? No, we want 3 archers. Okay. That works for me. Disregard these. This is an SFO thing, which I will be turning off, I believe. Okay. So the only replenishment that we're going to be getting this turn is Tyrion and Vinola here. All right, back to Lothern. So obviously, long term, this is not the right place to have this building. So we'll leave it for now because no, we won't leave it for now. We have no need to recruit either one of those units. So we're going to go ahead and demolish that. Obviously, we are going to keep the landmark. Actually, is it considered a landmark or is it considered the port? It's considered the port. Okay. There's the landmark. Not available until level 5. Then I don't think we're going to need the walls building here. It does improve the tower projectiles. It'll improve the garrison a little bit, but I don't think it's a priority. If we're hopefully no time soon will we be actually threatened by an attack here on Lothern. Okay, so let's go ahead then and do probably the plaza and then also the embassy. Excuse me, this is not the embassy, this is the aristocracy. This is the embassy. Yes, okay. Well, we can't build that yet. So this is going to allow us to recruit nobles, very important, and also increases income from entertainment buildings. And so speaking of entertainment buildings, we're going to go ahead and do one of those as well. So we'll make do with our archers and spearmen for the time being for our first full army. So there's no need to have this militia camp building at all. Don't think there's anything else to be done. I've already checked diplomacy. Let's take a look at our research here. Military advancements, always very easy to choose your first technology for the High Elves. And we don't have any influence yet, so we can't really do any intrigue at the court. I tend to not do that very much anyway, at least in the early going, because I like using the influence to get better characters. Speaking of characters, can we recruit anybody yet? Nope. Okay. All right, I think then that's all there is to it. So the theme, I should have probably emphasized this at the beginning. We're gonna try to conquer, unify through diplomacy as much as possible and through conquest where necessary. All of Ulthuan, all of the High Elf factions. Obviously, there's going to be some fair amount of confederations, but also a fair amount of conquest because the Dark Elves will continue to have a presence here, probably. But I'm going to try not to go to war with any High Elf factions unless we're dragged into it by allies. So that's why we want to be very careful about who we ally with in the early going. Okay, and then we have this Heir of Anarion. With every victory, Tyrion leads the assert toward a second scouring. The enemies of the High Elves will be purged. Is this an SFO thing? Because I don't remember that from the last time I played in regular vanilla Tyrion. Okay, let's go ahead and end our first turn. Actually, no, let's not. Let's do this. I always like to be able to see those. Capture a settlement. In this case, it's going to the settlement in question has to be Tower of Lycene. All right. Okay, so Count Noctilus is already on his way over here to cause trouble. We'll deal with him in time. Okay, as this in turn finishes up, and you got a here we go. Okay. Time of balance. I don't really want to do any skewing the numbers in any particular direction. I like that SFO allows you to do it, but I ordinarily just default to time of balance. So, yeah, I love how fast the interns go at the very beginning of a campaign. So we can already see how the SFO settings are impacting the campaign because, again, we would normally already have Tower of Lycene, and we'd be spending turn number 2 to work our way over here. The fact that it's gonna take us probably at least turn 4 or 5 maybe before we get over there. That means that Cult of Excess is going to have enough time to completely recruit up a full stack and probably start on a whole nother army, like a second army, by the time we get over there. So it definitely has a huge impact in the early going. All right, we still are not getting any replenishment in our own territory. I'm just curious. Okay, I don't want to actually click on this because it consumes campaign movement range when entering stance. I have to be much more careful about changing stances in SFO. Then I also want to see I'm told that every faction has a special stance in SFO. So I'm trying to remember because it has been a long time. Obviously, those top 3 are all normal. Noble Prestige is this? Okay. This is probably the stance for SFO for Tyrion, for the High Elves. And we'll try it. It doesn't do anything for the army, only casualty replenishment rate for this lord. Character experience gained plus 25%. It doesn't say we cannot initiate a battle. So as long as we're in that, we should gain extra experience here for these two. So let's try it.
For my queen.
I guess I got pretty lucky that it didn't reduce our movement range to where we wouldn't have been able to reach this settlement. Okay, so they're a little bit dinged up over here. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. It's going to be a regular field battle, of course. And this time there are fewer trees. Suits me fine. For anyone who's not familiar with my Let's Plays, I manually fight almost every single battle. Only the most lopsided ones will I auto-resolve. I just find that I get bored of the game quicker if I'm doing auto-resolve. And, you know, the battles are quite often my favorite part of Warhammer 3, so why not try to maximize the part that's the most fun? Okay, start deployment here. So this is going to be kind of interesting. I think we'll get... How do we want to do this exactly? Let's get you 3 in the middle, so we'll do it like this. Our 5... Oh, I didn't know it was going to do it like that. Dagnabbit. Okay, you over here on this side. A little bit more spread out. There we go. And you over here. Okay, so you guys right here. Put you in a locked control group, so you stay in that formation. And then we're going to put the 3 spearmen kind of behind. We'll move them forward when they need to move forward. We'll get Tyrion here in front, but we want to make sure that our archers have maximum clear line of sight to the enemy. And I guess I think that's everything. We'll go ahead and start the battle. Move forward a little bit here, but they're probably going to come towards us, so we don't have to move very far. Let's go and get you moving forward. Tyrion, I want you moving forward as well, and maybe these silver helms over here. Let's go ahead and get the Phoenix to do a flyover. Okay, turn around, come back. Ah, I missed him. Dagnabbit. It's okay. I don't think it's going to be super important. Okay, you over here, you on them, you on them, you on them as well, you on him. Tyrion.
Happy to serve. Dark-hearted monsters.
Get you over here. Phoenix, now that you've slowed many of them down, actually you can come over here and try to drop some more on them. Go ahead and start getting you guys forward.
Swiftly.
And over this way now. A little bit hard to target. I'm not the greatest at micromanaging everything in this game, for sure. But that's good enough. Go and get back. Now you can charge those dark shards. Tyrion, how are you doing here? Let's go ahead and do this, and also let's buff. Oh, that's why. That's what ended up happening. The here, let's get you flying over those dread spears now. That's what makes him rampage. Worked pretty well.
Ready.
And how are we doing over here? Broken. Stay on them. Okay, over here. Doing okay. Let's try to get you guys around like this now. And you...
Without fail.
You can run... No, never mind. Let's run them off with them. You right here. You guys get in on them. Tyrion, you're still rampaging. You guys should be able to shoot pretty effectively into the flank right there. How are we doing right here? Let's go ahead and get the Phoenix over there now. And yeah, we're this looking pretty good. That's my mistake. Didn't mean to do that. Wrong unit there, Michael. Boom, there we go. That should work. Tyrion, how you doing? Okay, pretty good. Let's go ahead and get you hitting them from behind now. You guys can run them off. You guys can start shooting from the flank, and well, I'm surprised they're hanging on this long. You keep shooting them. You keep shooting them. Let's go ahead and do this. Boom. Up here, how we doing? Shattered. There we go. There's no enemy lord to worry about, so we'll go ahead and leave it at that. Alrighty. Decent experience here. At least we finally got a skill point. Let's go ahead and occupy it.
We have captured it.
And we satisfied that mission objective. Get ourselves a Featherfoot Torque, which is fine for the early game. It will not be super useful long term. And capture a province. Yep, we will definitely get to work on that. Ranks gained. Units recruited. Okay, let's go ahead and apply our
Tyrion, heir of an area.
skills here. Route Marcher. So this campaign movement range plus 5% becomes increasingly important because of the settings that we are using to slow down campaign movement. And then
Ready to serve.
with you, I think I'll just keep focusing on your magic. Featherfoot Torque, I'll go ahead and give that to you. And we have no ancillaries yet. Okay. So,
Protector.
Tower of Lysine, let's go ahead. We have enough money to level this if we want to. I think what I'd like to get some growth. I think maybe I'll do growth in Lothern. This is going to give me a little bitty bit of extra money and a little bitty bit of extra control. Not too worried about the control just yet. The extra money would be good, but it's a 20-turn payoff. I think I'm better off probably spending the money. Yeah, because I can't do both. I'm better off spending the money, I think, to level up Haven, the Tower of Lysine to Haven. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, and then we still have a little bit of money left to be able to do some holy cow. Did not realize how expensive they are. Should have paid attention to that last turn. Okay. Maybe... Okay, I'm going to change my mind here on growth, because I can tell already I'm going to grow faster than I'm going to have enough money to actually be able to level up my settlements. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then let's go ahead and take another... We'll take another spearman unit. Man, they are expensive. Holy cow. I almost wonder if I shouldn't go all in on the army. That one I've already... Here, let me see. I could
servant
afford
of
2
the king.
more. Let's do it. Yeah, we need to get to a full stack as quickly as possible. Not that big of a deal to delay leveling up the Tower of Lysine by at least 1 turn. We really need our replenishment to increase, that's for sure. So that would be another reason why we'd want to go growth. Is just for the casualty replenishment. I think I'd better do it. Okay. Yikes. Alright. Well, we'll hopefully fight lots of battles to get some money, because we're going to run into some serious money issues here. I can tell already. Let's go ahead and check our diplomacy again. So, Illyrian, still at war with Tyrion, of course. And let me just double check here. So let's take a look at Avalorn. So she is friendly with Ivris as well as us. So it's safe for us. We haven't met them yet, but it's safe for us to probably ally with Ivris.
Tyrant.
Okay. Good enough for now. Let's go ahead and do another end turn. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. Goodbye, Gentleman Jenkins. Okay. Upkeep. Reduction. That's good. Money is important. And our units recruited and our buildings constructed. Okay. So...
As you command.
Wait a minute. Even... Wow, this is bad. Even with the 1% casualty replenishment rate boosted right here, we're
Shield
still
against the
not getting
darkness.
any replenishment. Yikes.
Champion
Okay, well, what
of
we
the
need to
Evergreen.
do...
Short-sighted.
They're at 9, and then the
Ridiculous.
settlement garrison is 13. So what we're going to
Awaiting
do
orders.
is we're going to go in march
We shall
stance
not rest.
to here. I don't even know if we'd be able to reach next turn, but we're going to try to. So let's go ahead and go... Can our size 15 army here, would we be able to
Ill-considered.
defeat them? If that garrison stays weakened, then probably yes, although we can't really see exactly what's in that army. So this is our first real, really impactful change from vanilla. The fact that with our casualty replenishment reduced and our campaign movement reduced, this conquest of our first province is going to be significantly more challenging than it would be ordinarily. So I'm going to go ahead and try this. I'm going to move
Protector
you
of the Everqueen.
all the way
Very
over to
well.
here. Since you're not getting any replenishment even in home territory, we'll go ahead and move you to there. We're now in enemy territory, but it doesn't really matter. I don't think they'll attack us.
No.
We're not quite close enough yet to know what all they've
Your
got in that
orders?
army. But what we're going to do... I probably really need to try to increase casualty replenishment rate, but what I was thinking of doing is recruiting a second lord. If we can find one. That's interesting. So this is different, obviously. These terrible starting traits, because we don't have enough influence to get any good ones. They all have this character experience gain per turn of plus 100. That's quite interesting. Construction cost for all buildings. I just want to find one that's not too... Local recruitment duration plus 1 turn for Phoenix units. That is clearly not something that I'll be doing for a long time, so something like Ridiculed would work for me. Were these... Yeah, all of these are things that I definitely don't want to do. Metal? Yeah, these are not... These are all really bad. Flustered? All very, very bad. What about fire? Meddler? That's terrible. Peaky? Okay. Well... What if I went with a prince or a princess? Bird-brained? Nope, that's not good. And scornful. Leadership -5 for White Lions of Crace, Swordmasters of Hoeth, and Phoenix Guard units. That's going to be so late in the game before that's... I shouldn't say it's so late in the game, but it's not going to happen in the early game. So I feel like that one is probably not too bad. And he's going to cost a little less than 1,000. And then we have Inaccurate, that's terrible, and Soft-Hearted, definitely not that. Okay, we're going to go with Scornful here. Exarian here. You're going to cost us almost 1,000.
How can I assist?
And then we're going to be able to still recruit 2 more units here. Let's take one of each of them. Okay. And so we'll see how strong that size 9 army becomes by the end of next turn. Research available. Let's go ahead and give ourselves maybe archery prowess, I think. And check our diplomacy again. Still not much going on.
Lord
What about Kothik? How are they? Or I'm sorry, Kalidor. I mean, Kalidor really does not like us at all. Just because of historical relations. Okay, that's fine. It's okay. All right, let's go ahead and end our turn. I'm really hoping that Erethar's army there, or the enemy, the Cult of Excess, I'm hoping it doesn't go up too dramatically in terms of the number of units. Whoa, interesting. He's attacking us. Pyrrhic victory. Okay. I was not expecting that. Well, we'll go ahead and fight it then. This will be an interesting way to probably finish up this first episode. They've got some, you know, some strength in that army, but we should be able to win this. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if we take a lot of casualties. And of course, it's a little unfortunate that we can't reinforce. But I will admit, I was not expecting them to attack. They will probably come towards us. And what we need to do is we need to shoot down those harpies. I don't want those harpies to get into our back line. Okay. I could go... Start deployment here. I could go with a checkerboard. Let me think about this for a minute. If we go checkerboard here, we'll pull you two back.
Orders received.
And then we do you here, and you here, and then you guys sort of on the flanks.
Spearmen. For duty.
Let's get you over here like this.
Acknowledge.
Let's get you
Spearmen.
over here like this. Now let's move you over just a little bit and we'll put Tyrion right here.
Of Alaria.
Put our wizard over here. Silver Helms. And what do we have left? We've got one more spear unit. which I'm going to put you over here, and I'm going to switch you to be completely in. No, let's put you over here. You guys can be just completely in reserve. Okay, so there we go. There's our formation. Let's now figure out where we want to set up. I don't love that it's all downhill, but it is what it is. Oops, that's not going to work, Michael, because the Phoenix was included in that. Let's try it like this now. Let's get you guys. Those trees are going to be a little bit problematic. So what we're going to do is we're going to move forward right away. Start battle. Like I said, move forward right away.
It is done.
And let's get the Phoenix. Where do I want to move the Phoenix to? You know what? I'm going to use the Phoenix as bait. Let's see if the Harpies or somebody comes forward here where we can... where we can shoot them. Okay, everybody more or less in position here. Let's go ahead and we should be opening fire, I would hope. Let's go ahead and maybe use our wizard to buff. Nope, that's a bad idea. Let's get them back. That's too valuable right now. Okay, right there. This is fine. Boom. You should be able to take them out. Let's go ahead and get you charging forward. Let's go ahead and get you charging on them. This Phoenix can now get forward. Okay, Tyrion. Let's go ahead and go ahead and rampage, my man. Now, we'll get you flying up this way. Let's get you on them. Let's get you around. Let's fly across like this and try to drop some bombs. Boom, okay. How about over here? We can do it over here as well. You guys try to get over there. Okay, now right here. Okay, get back. You're going to get shot up pretty badly there. How are we doing right here? Okay, we're doing fine. You guys, let's get you now headed over here. Yeah, go ahead and charge them. Phoenix, you can start coming back over this way now. Looks like our front line is winning pretty effectively. You now start shooting at them. Start shooting at them. Start shooting at them. You on him. You chase them off. Tyrion, let's get you over here. Okay, how we doing here? Let's get back. Actually, get down there on those dark shards. Over here, we definitely need to take care of those guys, those dark riders right there.
Make
How are we doing over here? Okay, we're doing fine. Oop, that Phoenix is back in trouble again. Get him out of there. You guys right here, get forward.
Onward. We go.
Tyrion.
Alfwan.
And let's buff Tyrion here. Boom. Okay, you are getting away. Let's go ahead and get you forward now. You guys, I need you shooting at them. Over here. Yeah, we need you on them.
We will obey.
Shoot at them. Okay. Phoenix, what are you doing? Come on, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, let's get you chasing them. You guys, are you not? Come on, shoot them. What are you doing? Don't run towards them. Don't engage them in melee. Okay, I need to get my silver helms out of there. Silver helms are getting kind of shot up pretty badly. Okay, right here. You guys should be able to take them on with a little bit of help from over here.
Defending order. For order. It will be
Okay.
done.
And
Draw back.
Tyrion,
Orders
you stay on them. Okay, our silver helms are in bad shape here. You guys shoot them now. Get over here on them.
Without fail.
Shoot them.
Air of
Tyrion, go ahead and get back on them. And you get forward here. You guys shoot at them. Come on, hit them. Let's get you guys now back.
Move.
Come on, you should be able to engage those Dark Riders. You should be able as well. Get them in a pincer. Right here. Let's get you guys back. Okay, we did take plenty of damage, that is for sure, but we're okay. Most of them are shattered now. Let's go ahead. There we go. Nice. Okay, everybody try to kill him. Tyrion, go after him.
Maintaining order.
Phoenix, go after him. Silver helms, go after him.
For the king.
773. Is there any chance at all that we'll get him? Probably not. Well, we might. Here we go. Can we do a nice charge, effective charge there?
To battle. Yes. For the Ever Queen.
He's down to 422. Now here's the problem. My Phoenix, I'm going to turn the Phoenix around and have him charge in,
Setting
and he's going to
forth.
miss completely. Watch this. First of all, Mr. Phoenix, you are certainly taking your sweet time here. This is so broken, CA. You need to fix this, man. This is ridiculous. Yep, completely missed. Stood around. Hey, okay, there we go. He hit him the second time. Nicely done. See, if I complain enough, then maybe CA listens to me and fixes it while I'm in the middle of playing. Okay, that's a pretty good win. I should have probably pursued them a little bit more because they are going to survive. That army is not going to be destroyed. But it's okay. I don't think they're going to be able to get away from us. I hope they don't have enough movement to get all the way back into their settlement. Close victory. It's better than a Pyrrhic victory. And we're up to 5 now of this, Heir of Anarion. I think we'll probably take the treasury, although the army replenishment actually is kind of tempting because we're struggling so much with replenishment, but we need the money and we need the influence.
Let them go.
Okay, so fingers crossed that he can't do exactly what he just did. All right, well, it happens. At least he can't recruit. So next question is, does Tyrion have enough movement range to be able to get there? To encircle?
Shield against the darkness. I am honored.
Yes, yes he does. Okay, that's good. Let's go ahead and do a quick save here. We're getting down to only 2,000 per turn, so our
Servant
money
of the king.
situation is it's
Can I
not
offer
super great,
assistance?
but we're going to go ahead and do this.
Kill them.
Now, I'm not going to fight this battle this turn. I'm going to encircle.
Bring me battle.
The goddess forbids it.
Let's take a look at... I should have done this first. Yeah, the garrison is...
There is glory
Garrison's
to be
okay.
won.
And then we're going to
The
get
will
you
is
up
done.
here as
Ready
well.
to march.
We're going to
Onward.
give Tyrion these 2 units. And now, this is interesting. We are replenishing,
Be vigilant.
even though we're in enemy
Threats
territory. I
abound.
presume it's because we've encircled them. Now, we're not going to make this attack, and the reason is, I learned this lesson in the live stream. That garrison is super strong. I'm hoping that they, I don't know, I'll think about it. I was thinking that they only get the buffs on defense, but probably not. Probably that garrison is going to get the buff on offense as well. All right, well, let's see here. With the money that we've got, growth, we've got income generated, we've got the leveling up. I think this is probably what I'm going to need to do. But we'll decide that at the beginning of the next episode. I think this is a reasonably good place to go ahead and end our first one. We had a big victory right here. We've got a major battle coming up very early in the next episode. Whether it's us making the attack right away or them sallying out to attack us, or we might wait a turn or two to see whether or not we can get a little bit of replenishing. Every little bit helps, and they can get a little bit of attrition, because every little bit helps. Okay. All right. Anyway, thanks everybody so much for joining, and I will see you all in the next episode.